Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Hey,
Welcome
hey,
to
hey.
another episode of Conversations with Core and Tafari.
Hello, hello.
How are you there?
I'm doing pretty good
How are
today.
you?
How are things
Today
going for you?
things are going good. I'm trying to get my everyone. Please excuse my dog. She gets excited when the neighbor's out next door, so please excuse me. But my day is good. It is Thursday, February 5th. Where's the time flying? Because January went.
2026 in the year of
Yeah.
our Lord.
Yes. Yes, it just came and it went, right? Wow.
Yes.
You know,
Happy Black History Month.
oh yeah, let's go. Let's
Wakanda
go. Let's go.
forever.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. You know, happy Black History for the year.
Why
We
not?
always making history every
365.
single day. Every day we get up, we making history. That's right.
You right about that.
You know, um, and we've had some weather lately. Snow, all kinds of different snow levels of snow, and all kinds of cold, huh?
Yeah, all kinds. That's for sure. Wet, dry, cold, 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 cold,
Cold,
cold,
cold,
cold.
cold, like single digit cold, right?
Yeah.
Double, like that's crazy though. But
Yeah.
it's a part of the structure of the world. It's part of the structure of seasons,
Yeah.
right? It's the shedding and the rebirth of things, which leads us into our topic, episode 3.
That's right.
Structure is
Let's
your
do it.
shield. Structure is your shield, right? Structure. I think most of us appreciate structure. A lot of us need structure. Some of us think we don't need structure, but then we don't know how to operate within the chaos because not all chaos is bad. A lot of chaos creates clarity.
Sometimes I think that we do figure out a way to operate in chaos. The thing about it is that it does not help us. Like the methods, we've created a system, right? But the system isn't serving us. So whether it's a good one or a bad one, it exists, but it sucks. And it keeps us in the same spot, wondering why can't I move forward, or why do I still keep getting these same results? And we haven't checked the system, we haven't checked the structure of our day, of our time, of our talents, of our treasures. And so I'm excited with where this is going to go today.
Do you agree, or would you say, or whatever it is, that your comment in terms of chaos may not be great for us because of certain structures? Do you think it's based on our beliefs and our programmings that have have, have given us a false doctrination of what we think we should be doing?
Hmm.
So, for
Um,
example,
mhm.
so for example, who says that the way to life is consuming our life with 60 to 70 hours um, of work for 40 years
Oh, yeah, that's man made.
to retire and to stay alive until it's time for you to check out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's man made. I saw a verse that said, don't, basically saying, don't work yourself to death. Don't, don't grow weary trying to get rich, right? Um, there is a culture that definitely wants us on the hustle and bustle all the time. It reminds me of the book Rest is Resistance. um, because we have to resist this narrative that they try to feed us. I think sometimes we get caught up in like survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
And with survival mode, you feel like you have to do and be everywhere and do everything at all times in order to survive. And what I found as someone who has come out of survivor mode is like it's like the less you do, the greater impact you can make. But that does require having some structure, some discipline, focus, priority. And once you have all of that, you don't have to scramble and work so hard trying to make something happen. If anything, things will come to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to answer your question, like a little bit of, I don't know, I'm looking at my desk now, right? And it is
Mm-hmm.
a little chaotic. My room is a little chaotic. I always like a little, like my whole house can be clean, but in my room, it'll be a little chaos. So my kitchen gonna stay clean. There's some areas that's just gonna stay clean. Because I don't like the other side of what's to come if that is not in place. You don't clean your kitchen, you're gonna have bugs. I
Yeah.
don't like bugs,
Right.
right? So I find value in keeping a clean kitchen. I think also just what you find value in. Now my room, on the other hand, it's closed. It's closed for me, so I'm not leaving any food. I don't even eat in my room, but it'll just be clothes just everywhere. And so, well, I have my little chair. Everybody got that. You got your chair?
Yeah, I got a chair.
Yeah, everybody got their chair of clothes, right?
No, I don't have a chair closed though.
You don't have your chair of clothes? Just say yes.
Nah,
Just
no,
say yes.
I ain't gonna say no. I'm not gonna. So you want me to agree to that chaos, right? That's what. This is exactly what we talking about right here. You want me to agree? Now, I don't have a chair closed.
So for
No,
those who got the chair of clothes,
no.
y'all
I have
know
I
the
have a
community.
hanger of sweatshirts inside my door when
Oh,
I
you
come in my
hang?
office. Yeah, I gotta. So I got my jackets and my sweatshirts that I could do something with them and put them wherever they need to go, but
Okay, okay,
they're
okay,
used on a regular basis, so it's the grab and go.
okay.
I have dogs. I gotta walk, so sometimes I don't have time to go to the coat closet and grab a coat. I got a hoodie and a jacket hanging right here,
But
and
see, there's still beauty in that chaos.
yeah, I mean,
There's
but
still
see,
beauty.
that's clarity in chaos, right?
Yes, there can be. There can be. Let's talk about it.
I got my scullies right here. I grab a skull, I get up, throw
You
my
got your
scully
file.
on. I
Mhm.
reach across past my desk, grab a leash, grab a bag, grab a hoodie, boop, boop, boop. If I don't have no shoes on, I got slippers on. Kick off my slippers right here, throw on
Mm,
my shoes, grab the chains off the hook right here, the other chains off the
mhm.
hook, and boop, boop, hook them up, and we out the door immediately.
So that's some structure
And
there.
the system, you know what I'm saying?
There is a
So,
system for sure.
and they know once I grab, they don't know. Once I grab for the hoodie off of that, they already know it's time to stand tall to go
Mm,
outside.
okay. So is there a difference between structure and systems?
Yeah, it
Tell me
is.
more.
So let's use being a parent, right?
Mhm.
So a good structure is we don't go to sleep with the kitchen dirty. That's
Mhm.
a structure because they're gonna carry that with them throughout their lives.
Mhm.
The system is this now. Whatever your system is internally is your
Yeah.
system on making sure that gets completed. Now, do you wash dishes and then dry them and put them away, or do you wash dishes, put them in the rack, let them dry, and then put them away whenever they dry the next day, something like that. So
Okay.
those are completely two different systems. But the structure is, hey, we don't keep a dirty house. How do we don't keep a dirty house?
Mm.
No dishes in the sink. Counter must be wiped down. Kitchen floor must be swept, and the table must be wiped off every single night. Like we don't miss a beat. There's times that might happen, but that's only like I'm saying like maybe twice out of your whole life, you should
Right.
be going to bed with dishes in the sink.
So
I'm
let me
just saying. I
how
grew up
does that look
different.
in business?
How does that look in business? Good. Culture. Culture is structure. Culture is
Mhm.
structure. Good attitude, positive vibes, no judging, listening, contributing, engaging, participating, whatever that culture is. Now, the system of getting those things done, it's a little bit different because it's like,
Mhm.
how do I do this, and that? So, for example, if you have a staff member and maybe they're not having their best month or best week or whatever it is, what
Mhm.
is your system? What is your approach on dealing with them? Especially if
Oh,
there's a write up involved, right? How do you handle conflicts? How do you make decisions? Right? How do you order inventory? How do you make sales? How do you do your deliverables? How do you follow up
mm,
on the customer experience? Right? So you have structure and you have systems in place. Now, systems could be your approach, and then the subsystems to that is maybe you're using a tool, a vehicle, a software, so, or something to help you execute the subsystem of the general process, which sometimes it can you can mix up a process in the system.
yeah. Okay, that's good. That's good.
That makes
So,
sense,
yeah, that's it's giving shield. It's giving structure as a shield.
right?
So, how would it like help with procrastination? What
Hmm.
would what would be this structure? Because a lot of people talk about, I procrastinate so much. I'm always procrastinating, right? So to have this structure to protect yourself against procrastination, what would that look like?
That's a great question. So I think it all. Everybody has a different approach because of their lifestyle, right?
Mhm.
As a business owner, I think you have to learn how to. First of all, you have to learn how to compartmentalize your thoughts and your activities, right? And it can be difficult to do that in the beginning. And it can be difficult at different stages of growth within yourself and the business, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot to unpack out of that statement. For me personally, I could easily procrastinate, right?
Mhm.
But what has helped me to not do so much procrastination is what my outcomes. What am I trying to achieve? What is the
Yes.
outcome? What am I trying to achieve? Right. And then what impact am I trying to have? Right. Because my procrastination shouldn't affect others. Right. And so how do I structure my thoughts and then structure myself to have a system around me? So I use a to-do list. I
Mhm.
either I'm still writing my book of books, right?
Right? Gotta have that
Um,
handy dandy notebook. I get it.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But I also have a task management system that I use.
Okay, tell me about it.
Oh man. So I'm a big two things you can always hear me talking about in business.
Okay.
CRM and workflow task management system, right?
Mhm.
The greatest gift to anybody, especially an entrepreneur, sole proprietor, any business, doesn't matter what size. But as a second helping hand to yourself, those are two great systems. Now, so I've always used and by the way, we're not being sponsored by any of these people yet. I need to save this video, send it to them. But Asana was one that I've used for a lot of years,
Mhm.
and I still have it structured. And that's the one that I probably helped set up and implement Asana. Man, I couldn't really pull an exact number, but could be like maybe 60, 70 times out of the whole time I've been using it. So I've
Mhm.
had business owners implement it within their business. We set up the tasks, the project centers, as you will, any automations, and then anybody within the organization or outside of the organization that they're doing business with or projects with, set it up, right? And then show them how to use it. A new system I've been working with, and I'm emphatic about it, is called ClickUp.
Mhm.
Great system. Great system.
Okay.
Great. So what's
Love
great
planning
about it,
fun.
Core? What's great about it, Core?
Yeah, what is great about it?
It's not just only a task management system where you could do multiple things within one task itself, but each task board, and I'll one day we'll do a systems demo. We'll make write that down. We'll do a systems demo at some point, and I'll show a sample. But inside of the task and inside of a particular task board, you
Mhm.
not only have the task written out, but you have a dashboard. So I utilize a dashboard, so it shows me the overall tasks within this particular project and who's assigned to and how many tasks have been completed. But it gives me a graph of progress. Number one.
Ooh.
Then it gives me a summarization. With AI in place, it automatically summarizes what we've done for the week, where we fall short, and what needs to be completed,
Mhm.
and the whys to it, right? Because you can assign what task might be dependent upon another task,
Mhm.
right? So you got projects, you got tasks, you got subtasks, right? Set your
Mhm.
due dates, set your dependencies, and so many things you could do there. The other piece to that is if I'm having a team call and we're in a task, we do a screen share. There's a whiteboard in there, so I can use the whiteboard on the screen
Mhm.
and I can record it within the same program. So,
Oh
and then
wow.
put that into a wiki. So, a wiki is like your stored SOPs and a library of just knowledge base that you can go back to you can share with others or anybody working with you. You can have a process in there for them, right? And so you can create that, put it into the wiki that goes into that particular project task. So, for
Mhm.
example, when I say project website, that's a project. Now, inside a
Yeah.
website, you have different tasks, right? So you have, let's say, you might have update content quarterly, or website refresh quarterly. So what happens within that website refresh is this, and that. So that'd be one project.
Mhm.
Make sense? So yeah, so that helps with procrastination because when I open it up, I find that it helps because neurologically speaking, when we see things and when we complete things, we're able to get a robust of dopamine, if you will, right? And that's just a natural thing within us as people. Okay. So when I open up my task and I'm not in the mood or I'm in the mood, let's go with when I'm not in the mood. It's right in front of me. I can't ignore it. I gotta pay attention to it. Gotta get it done. Because 9 times out of 10, it's only gonna take me 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Then I go
Mhm.
to my calendar and block off. I do a calendar block, time block. This time is dedicated to executing this. Boom. Right.
Mhm.
Another thing I do is I once a week I go through my to dos. Right. I just glade. I'm not executing anything. I just go through. I just look through it, and now I'm chopping off what is on my list. What is on my list that I don't need to go through? That doesn't even need to be on my list. Can I knock it out right now?
Mm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that low hanging fruit.
Exactly. Now, for the things I want to do, it gets me excited because I go, okay, I got all of these things that I need to do. What is priority? And what can I now? I'm gonna kind of go into another topic of delegation because it helps me. One thing that I'm constantly talking about and doing myself is delegating. Not easy to delegate when you're a person that go, I can do it myself. I'm
Mhm.
a lot better along the road. And so when I coach people on delegation, when you have something in place and it can be explained and people have a place to come back to it and then communicate with you about it, delegation becomes easy,
Mhm.
right? And so one thing I forgot to mention inside those tasks are a little chat feature specifically for that task. So you can chat about that task.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's very, very detailed. Detail. I am not that advanced yet. Um, I started something similar to that in like a Google Excel. I found a template to use. That was in January. I don't think I've looked back at it too much because I'm a paper and pen kind of girl. And I like to take it all the way back with addressing procrastination with really just knowing what my values are, what's important to me. And so I typically take my clients on the value quest. The value quest is where we question your belief system, understand what's important to you, evaluate are you aligned with that, strategize a plan to get you aligned with that, and then you take action. And so for me, my values are God, a peace of mind, and my family, my children's. And so anything that falls outside of that, that's what I'm like, okay, I can let that go. Because procrastination is sometimes internal, but it's also like external, meaning like you have these things such as distractions as well pulling at you. Um, and I tell my people all the time, everything that's good ain't great for you. It might look good and sound good, but it is the best thing for you to be doing right now. So, like this snow break, it was some days it was a little hard to still be working. I wanted to just lay in, but I had to get up because I'm thinking like my kids are important to me. Being obedient with the task that God has told me I need to complete for the day is important to me. Um, like not being slothful or delayed in what I am more than capable of executing. So because of these values, it helps me to like be able to look at taking steps forward. But as a parent, you know, everything seems to be a priority. Um and so then it's just like, am I procrastinating or am I struggling with organization? And it could be a little bit of both. I find a lot of parents, they say, well, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to work out. I don't have the time to prepare nutritious meals or to take time for myself to do this or that. And what I know as a matter of fact is you have to make the time. You got to fight for it because ain't nobody just giving it to you. You're given the choice of what you do with your time, but that's going to be based off of what you value. Is how you choose to spread it out and structure it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think that, to each his own in a sense, because everybody has their belief system, things they believe, even though that can change. People have their values. Again, you'll have your core values that should never change, and then you have your sub values to that, right?
Yes.
Which can change. And for me, and again, it depends on what type of person you are, right? So if we're talking about regular everyday stuff, going to work, having a family, taking care of the kids, doing this, that, and the third. Yeah, you gotta push yourself because um your schedule is around your work, basically.
Mhm.
If you're the main provider in the family, right? When you are a business owner, your schedule there's going to be times that you got to schedule life around it, but you can still schedule your business around your life if you're set up that way. And
Mhm.
so I find that um multiple if you have one or two ways to help you become organized, it helps. And
Yeah.
I find that when you so yeah, like I said, so you said you're a writer, you like to write things down. Yes, I'm
Mhm.
I'm still traditional old school like that. Like I have sticky pads everywhere, right? Along with my notebook. But in terms of organization and organizing my task and things that need to get completed,
Uh-huh.
that's when I go to my task management system. Because I might have a thought. I might be on a conversation with somebody and I'll jot it down, and then I'll go, okay, I need to circle back to this because one of the great things let me not say great. One, I think one of the things that I've always been good at, and I try to stay consistent at, and I notice at different levels that I have to pay attention to it much more is follow up. I always had a strong follow up game, right?
Mhm.
I get off a call or I have a call with somebody or somebody says they need something, people go, hey, I get back to you such and such. I've always had a strong follow up. And so in order for me to keep my follow up right, I use a system to keep me honest like that.
Hmm.
It could be the most simplest mundane thing, and it's maybe written in my book. But at the end of the day, I have a practice that I do before I get up. I get up, so I'm trying to throw my schedule out there a little bit. If I'm not in the field and I'm
Uh-huh.
home, when I walk the dogs, I got a particular time I walk them. And once I come back in from walking them, I sit down and I go through my notes, my handwritten notes.
Mhm.
And I look at my to-do list and anything in this handwritten that's going to create a follow-up for me, I'll drop it in my task management system. I set a date so it holds me accountable. And when that date pops up, I go right to it, right? Even if it's a week out, but it's something I need to have done in a week, I'll look at my calendar. If I have room tomorrow, I'm going to put in my task management for me to have it tomorrow because it's
You
still
got me
fresh
wanting
in
to
my
look at
mind.
my list now.
Hey, man, listen, let's get at it. Right? Look, I got a
Listen.
saying. If you're not on the way, you in the way.
Yeah, you're right about it.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right
So
about it.
so so I have a little way of doing things that makes me, because people go, man, core thanks. I thought you forgot. Or I didn't think you were gonna get it to me that quick. Or where you come up with this at? Because I'm like
Mhm.
a do it now. I've learned under the do it now type of system from back in the day. If we could do it now, let's do it now. If we can't get it done now, then what's the soonest we could get it back, right? And so that helps me because once I write it in the book, no, I mean I'm gonna look at the book probably tomorrow. But am I gonna remember everything without out of all of the things that I have to do? And so that leads into like my training with biz therapy, right? And so the first three trainings, and I think we talked about this in the last one. The first three
Mhm.
trainings, the first one is time. How do you see time and how do you see your time? First and foremost,
That's
let's talk
true.
about that, right? The second thing is aim and focus. Where are you aiming? Where's your focus and your aim? Because where you
Mhm.
focus, is what's going to be produced, right? And then
Yeah.
frustration. What are your frustrations? See, we think frustrations is just kind of just like it's just a part. It's par for the course. Yeah, there are some frustrations as par for the course, but a lot of times you find out that frustrations is we made up certain frustrations. The environment has given us certain frustrations, and
Mhm.
we accept those frustrations because we don't have focus and we don't understand time.
Mm. Yeah, I remember when I started really valuing time. And I was good and grown when this happened. That was definitely a transition for me. But I just started understanding like I just cannot be hanging with any and everybody. It's costing me. Like if it's not costing me for us to just be in the room together, um, like we could not go anywhere and it's still costing me, right? And so after that, I had to start evaluating like how is this reciprocal? Um, how are we both getting something out of this experience? So you have to be protective and set boundaries when we talk about structure. And that transition, Corey, can feel like you're losing. Sometimes doing what's right and good for you and your business can feel wrong. It can feel like you're missing out or losing something. But if you can just hold on through it and press through and see what's on the other side, it's worth it. It is definitely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I got sayings, of course. If you stay on the right side of right, when the left shows itself, you'll be on the right side of right, meaning it's an integrity check, right?
Yeah.
And it's a fortitude thing too, right?
Mhm.
Self fortitude. And so, like for me, I'm I understand it can be, the walk can be like questionable, it could be lonely at times, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And but that's where I get into my reading and my write. I'm always learning something. I don't want to be, there's this saying that you don't let me see, analysis by paralysis, right?
Mhm.
You learning but you're not implementing. Well, me, I'm always implementing something. I
What you
learned
learned
something.
today?
What I learned today.
Yeah,
Let me see what I learned today.
I know, right? I'm always trying to learn.
Strategic partnerships. So I've been working on some on because I'm part of the chamber, and
Mhm.
so in my committee, one of our charge roles is developing strategic partnerships. And so yesterday we had a call on strategic partnerships, and I was doing some homework last night, over the night, and then early this morning. I was like, I stayed on it. I didn't let it go, and I came up with some really good ideas for the team, so we can expand and talk on strategic partnerships. But strategic partnerships is something that I've been talking about for a long time. I think you and we talked about it before in the beginning as well. But I think we make light of what strategic partnerships really are. And
Mhm.
strategic partnerships are opportunities for each person individually or as a business owner to expand, to be an ecosystem to each other and to others that can fall into that, right? And so it reduces our any marketing spend that we may have, right? Because I won't go into the definition of marketing, but some people don't really understand the true meaning of marketing or advertising, right? And that's okay because we get this made. But strategic partnership, it allows you to strengthen pillars within your organization, allows you to strengthen the culture within your organization and your brand, right? It allows you to align with those like-minded people that we may be on a different road, but we all going to the same spot.
Corey, let me
I'll
ask
meet
you
you there.
something.
Yeah.
Is it wrong to look at, as a business owner, is it wrong to look at everyone as a potential strategic partner? Like, do you ever cut that off or does that stay on?
For me, well, that's a good question. For me, it stays on,
Same for me too. Like,
right?
it gotta
But
stay on.
it's like I have identifiers. I know it's almost like who aligns with your personality type.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody to you, and to everybody you meet, you like, oh, all right, they must be, something about them must be cool until they show you who they are. And when
correct.
they show you who they are, and that's not what you signed up for, then you go,
Mhm.
it's the same as the same as the same, right? As above, so below, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so because you don't, if you turn it off, you're gonna leave something on the table, and you might miss an opportunity.
Yes.
It could feel judgy from the other person or the organization, like that you're judging them falsely, without understanding or knowledge of, and you don't want that
Mhm.
to be reciprocated back, because usually what you give off is what you get,
Mhm.
right? Is what you receive, what you attract. So yeah, leave it on. But yeah, so to your question, to your early question, so strategic planning, I don't want to give away too much of the secret sauce because I'm still building it out. But I have a theorem behind it, and I have an
Okay.
implementation plan that I'm developing behind it, right?
Ooh.
And
Implementation plan.
yeah, and I got a word that came up. I got a word I came up with too.
Oh, did you now?
Not even a word. It's a name. It's 3 words. Is it three
Oh,
words?
3.
Well, it's 2 and 3 words actually, and
Okay.
So when you pitch it in that way, and when you pitch it, when you say,
Mhm.
"Hey, I'm this, or my system is this, and this is why, and this is the approach, and this is what the outcome is going to be, and this is what the impact is going to actually equate to," then when do we get started?
Mhm.
You know,
That part.
right? And
That
then
part.
and then it's like, okay, well, for you, so what do you need? What do I need? How do I measure? How do you measure? Right?
Mhm.
And then how do we execute to get that train going, if that makes sense, right? That swap going, right? And
Yeah.
so
But
systems.
I love that exchange of identifying like what matters most. Um what matters most to the both of us so that we can work together to get there. Not so we just be busy together. But how do we like be productive in a way that is going to help both of our businesses move forward? I think when we talk about strategic partnerships and or individually, we got to think about with the things that we're doing each day, how does that move our business forward? Sometimes I can find myself just having meetings to be meeting. And I'll be like, what are we meeting for again? Like, how is this going to help my business? It's nice to know you, you're a great person, but I also have 50,000 other things I need to be working on as well to have this this movement turn into a tangible currency that I could exchange for something else, right? So I think, as entrepreneurs, we can get sometimes hyper busy to avoid or feel like we're avoiding procrastination. Um, but sometimes the busyness is like a cousin to procrastination that still keeps us from being productive, that still prevents us from implementing and applying the structure, the routines, um, and the organization that we need. What you got to say? What's your thoughts?
Hmm. Well, I think it's all in how you look at it. So for me, I get asked all the time, "How was your day?" Right, from various people, and I'll have days where I say it was busy, but and then I go, I'll immediately talk through it. I go, it was just busy, like just a bunch of busyness, right? And then I'll go, oh, or I go, I had a productive day, because productivity means you actually checking off your boxes,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
watch this:
What you
without
got?
without busyness, there's no productivity.
Tell me more.
And I'm just letting that sink in for a moment. Without busyness, there's no production. It's sort of like demand, right? If there's the demand for a product, it sells. If there's no demand for a product, it's not going to sell, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
the question becomes, how do you show up to meetings? And you go with the grow method, right? Goals, reality, options, and the way forward. If you're thinking in those terms and you ask those questions, well, what am I going to this meeting for? And you ask thought-provoking questions to make sure that at the end of the meeting there's a way forward. There's action steps, there's
Mm-hmm.
next steps, there's accountabilities, so things can get done instead of it being feel good meetings. I don't like feel good meetings either. Don't waste my
Mm-hmm.
time. I don't do good and feel good meetings, because then I'm a laugh and joke, and then I like to hike a little bit, have fun. It's just something in me, and I don't want it to be taken the wrong way, but don't put me in any feel good meetings without a
Mm-hmm.
resolve. What are we trying to do? So busy and productive, and productivity is my two keywords for the day. Like today, my day's been busy, but I'm about to have a productive next 4 or 5 days.
Mm.
Tomorrow's not as busy, so I know the half tomorrow afternoon I'm gonna have productive afternoon, because I'm gonna be able to chop off a lot of things on my list.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so then watch this: busy day. heavy notes. I'm already on like 6 pages of notes today.
Ooh, fun.
By the end of the day, I'm gonna go through my notes, throw what I need to throw in my task management system,
You
set
gonna
my
do what?
tasks. I'm gonna look at my book, take my notes, and throw it in my task management. What needs to
Okay.
go there? And then once I do that, I X off in my book, so I don't got to go back in there scanning it, wasting time.
I
Right?
thought you said do what I gotta do, and the accent was so
Oh,
strong.
my bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do
I
it.
get, I go hard sometimes. You gotta do what you gotta
Yes.
do. You gotta do what you
Yes.
gotta do, you know what I mean? And yeah, so I'll do that and then I go, okay, now what so this leads to my task for the next day. What is priority that I need to get off my list? And I'm gonna try to see what's priority, what's sub priority, and what's just not priority, right?
Mhm.
And so I have a priority, sub priority, not priority, and a parking lot.
Mhm.
Now, parking lot means something I need to do, but I don't got to do it right now. So I throw it in my parking lot system in my task management, and it just sits in my parking lot. And I check my parking lot bi-weekly just to see if there's something in there that I might have missed.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
So,
good.
but it's all work. It's not easy. I'm not a perfectionist. I am not, I'm just good at, you know, I'm good at where I put my focus. And
That's
because
good.
right? And because
That's
I've been
good.
through a lot of different experiences, my experience it lends itself to people that need that experience. They never experienced, they never thought about it. They don't even know. There's no know-how. So I go, okay, you don't know how? Well, I know how. Here, let's go get it. Roll up the sleeves, and we're gonna do what we gotta do.
How you do it again?
Roll up my
Roll up the
sleeves, and we gonna do what we gotta do, right? Biz therapy. Everybody needs some business therapy, right?
You right
Because
about it.
the goal of biz therapy and the goal of this platform is to help build the person so the person can build what?
The business.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Tafari, right? We
That's
here
right.
we in the people building business.
Yes. We got
Structure.
to.
Structure.
And so we got some homework, don't we?
Yeah,
We
we
got
got
some
some
homework
homework.
for the people.
We got some homework. We got some homework. We got some homework. You want to spill? You want me to spill off the homework,
Yeah.
or you want to spill it off?
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
let you go
So
ahead.
all right, cool. Well, we're gonna drop this homework in the box for everybody to download. But for now, I'm just gonna say it. So get your pens, your number two pencils out, your paper. Write with a blue pen.
Got my blue pen.
Got your blue pen. There you go.
Mhm.
So structure being your shield, right? So a couple of things you want to do. You want to ask yourself where do you get stuck, right? And what do you keep putting off, right? When do you avoid it? Why do you avoid it? And how do you feel when you avoid it? These are very real things because the
Mhm.
body feels a certain kind of way. You feel it in your body, right? Your brain, your emotion, then your body feels while you pushing off something. Is it uncertainty? Is it fear? What is it? What are you feeling? Are you overwhelmed? Are you unsure? You don't know how to make that decision? Write those things down, right? Because now it's going to help you to begin to see what the chaos is, so you can start to create a structure. Okay. Um, um, the next step would be pick one task you avoid and answer it. Right. What will make it easier to start? When should this happen? And what is the first small step you need to take? Right. And be honest. Be honest with yourself. Right, again, writing it down allows you to be honest. Be honest with yourself. You the first point of contact. You the first person that you spend the most time with every single day down here, right? And not everyone has it, but I encourage everyone to have a relationship with the creator. But that's for another time.
All
But
right, now don't
write it,
open the
write it,
door. I'm gonna step
right,
right in it.
right, write it down. What would make it easy, that task? When should this happen, and what is the first small step? Right, and then clear out your space. This should allow you to clear it out, clear out your mind, and then you say, okay, where do I start? Right. But before I start, is the atmosphere? Is it my office? Is it my home? Is it my environment outside? Is
Mhm.
this conducive to allowing me to get past these procrastination things that I go through? Because sometimes we think we're not procrastinating, but the environment makes you feel comfortable. And when you're comfortable, I always say no challenge, no change. So when you're comfortable, what's supposed to change? Let me say it this way: what is supposed to change if there's no challenge or no obstacle in the way for it to change?
Mm, mm,
Why would somebody in the right mind change something that doesn't? It's not even broken. So you gotta get uncomfortable. Change your
this is
environment.
true.
Change. If you want something different, what they say is another scenario, another imaginary scenario. If you want a different picture, take use the same camera and just adjust your height.
Mm,
Don't
that's
take it here, take it here. Same image, same picture, different perspective. Details become different.
that's good.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Um, and then consider this: work on what matters the most. Right? Start with one thing. Start with two or three things. What will you do? When will you do it? How long will it take? Right? Because organization, it does free you up. And when your mind is free and you have that anxiety up off of you, you're like, yes, yes, man. I remember back in the day, I had this job I used to love. I was just good at it. And I think I was young though. I think I got fired. Then it's
Oh.
the then it's the first job, the first and last job. Yeah, that was the first and last time I ever got fired.
Mhm.
I was a young buck, but I didn't get fired by myself. It was a bunch of us. They just fired everybody. Um, but when I remember when I got fired, a weight was lifted off of me.
Mm.
That was early on when I realized that I was really going out there and I was killing myself to make somebody else some money and to make somebody else look good. I think that was the beginning of me learning that what business is really about. Because I was on the back end. I was not only in the front sales and stuff, but I was on doing the operational stuff, which I wasn't. It just happened that way. And yeah, they fired a bunch of it because they ran out of money or whatever. But I was still, or like I said earlier, I was young, super young, super young. But I remember a weight being lifted, and that weight was just taking on the responsibility of something that didn't even belong to me. I don't know if
Yeah.
that helps anybody, but that's where we at. All
Yeah.
right.
Sometimes we take it on stuff that ain't even ours to begin with,
Absolutely.
getting in the way of
Absolutely.
our goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that being said, I hope there was some fruit in here for everybody to grab a hold of. What you think?
I think they got something to chew on.
And then we got
Mhm.
some more to
Good.
come. You know what I mean? This is good stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chuck up the deuce. Say peace to everybody. We'll see you on the next episode. And stay
Check out
tuned
the
for our
download.